Hello, everyone. This is Crystal Cockerham, and you are here on Ask Crystal, a breakthrough show extra. And today this is the June broadcast, and your space that empowers you to take control of your spiritual path by answering your questions, curiosities, and guidance on your current challenges so you too can experience breakthrough moments. I am your host, Crystal Cockerham, author, mentor, and feminine wisdom teacher of wisdomawakens.com. I am going to try to pull up this broadcast here in Facebook so that I can see any comments. You will notice that in the description of the live, I have entered the call-in information for you. So here we go. And I see somebody is joining us. So if you would please say hello, let me know where on the globe you call home. I would absolutely love that. And we are just going to get started today. I would love to hear how you're doing, what's up with you. And if you have anything that you're stuck around, if there's anything that you have been struggling with or challenged by, or if something has popped up into your consciousness and you have questions regarding transformation or personal growth and spiritual development, then this is your space to do so. So while we're just kind of waiting for Facebook to catch up, because your comments will pop up a moment after you hear my words. It's not absolutely in real time. I am just going to kind of fill you in on what has been going on in my world so that I can share some of the tips that I have been taking and working with to help myself maneuver. So we recently had a really scary health crisis in our family with a close family member. And so, of course, it wasn't something planned, obviously. And it took them a bit to figure out what was going on and then to kind of put everything in place to take care of it. So in moments like that, where it's absolutely like adrenaline is up and there's all sorts of uncertainties, what ifs, could it be, and unknowns with no guaranteed outcome, what do you do to take care of yourself? How do you be in that and be present with that, while also honoring your feelings in the moment, and taking care of yourself while still being present for what's going on? And so for me, I use a lot of breathing. I allow myself to slow down. And this is something. Hi, Jess. I am in the building. Yes, I am. And so, it's taken me a while to learn this, but for me, it's really slowing down, taking small steps, and allowing myself quiet time to be on my own, because I know this isn't news for you, but as a very highly sensitive person and a full-blown empath, it isn't easy to be in those situations, especially when it involves somebody really close to you. So for myself, in order to get through it without having physical disruptions in my body, is I really allow myself quiet time by myself. And mornings aren't always okay, let's just throw that out the window. Mornings aren't my best time of the day. So if I can just take extra time in the morning for myself, it really helps me move through. And also allowing just to, even if I could lay down for 20 minutes or a half an hour, also helps me personally. And also, trying not to take on the world, right? So allowing myself, giving myself permission to not go through my normal day and do all of my everyday tasks, right, when there's something else going on in addition to what's going on. Sometimes you just need to let certain things lie, take a couple of things and try to tackle them on your list, and so that you can be present for the situation at hand. And that all ties up into a nice tidy bow that we'll talk a lot about on this show, and that I speak a lot about with my clients and in my group, Feminine Wisdom Keepers, and that is self-care. Absolutely is vital, because it's not that especially in times like this, it's not that you don't want to be there the whole time. It doesn't mean that you don't want to know what's going on or have a say, but you really can't make great decisions if you aren't in your best frame of mind. And stress alone it's always there, but if you're doing what you can to counterbalance the spike of the stress and the adrenaline, so to speak, then it's much easier and helpful, and helps you have a much clearer frame of mind. So who Crystal, there are a lot of people who are feeling the call to share their heart during these times on the planet. However, social media has become such a toxic environment for some of these people, where they are feeling like they can't share or they will be attacked. What advice do you have for these people who are finding their voices stifled at this time? My best advice, honest to goodness, is really finding that safe person or those safe people, and allowing yourself the space to have that conversation with those safe people. Social media, for me personally, I don't use it to really, air those kind of things. But I am one of those safe people to kind of talk through, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say, right? Because even though you don't want to interact or interject with the negative, with the drama, or to fuel the drama, there are some major things happening right now that are really important for us to discern and get clear on how we feel about them. And there are a lot of extra things happening right now around the current climate in the US particularly, that really make a lot of us uncomfortable, and we're not okay with it. And it seems to have given certain groups of people where they feel like it's allowed them a free rein, so to speak, of acting out, and to use the fuel of the drama of what's happening to serve their separate causes. It really isn't right. And it's not going to change and go away overnight. So how do you be in that? For me, again, especially as an empath, it's not that I don't know what's going on. I do check in with the news, But I don't follow it and I don't get hijacked by it, because they can really take something and spin and spin and spin and spin and escalate it just by that action on its own. So for me, that's something that I do for myself. And also, when you have your people, when you have your tribe, when you have those safe people who maybe they don't have the exact mindset as you, but they are similar, you can have those safe conversations with them. And I know that I am really blessed to have more than one community of people who I can engage in those conversations with. And so it is a delicate situation and it is heated. I find that text messages, and when you're typing on social media, they're very similar to text messages. There's a lot that's lost when you're writing something out, because you're not hearing the inflection of the voice. You're not really feeling necessarily all the feelings behind the words. And it just takes one thing to trigger somebody else's emotional response within themselves to really take it in a direction that you never intended it to go. So yes, we have an After the Breakthrough Patreon community that is absolutely a safe space to where those conversations can happen. And Jess, if you are still watching, if you wouldn't mind, I don't have that link easily accessible to me. If you could put that in the comments for folks. And then I have also a private Facebook group called Feminine Wisdom Keepers that is also a safe space. The way that I facilitate my group is very much like a sacred circle. So while it is your space to be heard, politics is one of those things that we don't talk about. So how do you do that? How do you have that safe environment when politics are a no-no? And it's simply this. You can talk about, I see this happening in the world and it really hurts my heart, and I'm really struggling to understand such and such and such and such, right? And then we have the conversation about what's happening without inserting political views or beliefs. So it's really, that's the difference between being in a sacred circle and going to your girlfriend's house for luncheon and having a chat. And that is what I mean by finding those safe spaces where the drama doesn't exist and you're not impressing your beliefs or views and other people are impressing their beliefs or views on you, but you all have the audience to be heard and to be witnessed. And there is really a lot of beauty available in a situation such as that, where those vulnerable conversations, those high intensity topics can be looked at in an intimate nature and be honored and respected for each individual as the authentic individuals and representations that we are on the planet. And so, Jess, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, or maybe you want to phone in and we can have a conversation. That's cool. I keep going back and forth because my computer doesn't really allow me to have the Zoom and the Facebook Live. So I go back and forth so I can see your comments. We don't have any attendees waiting. Yeah, so and self-care really ties into um to navigating those waters too of the current climate, not just if a family emergency strikes, because we have been in a constant state of emergency in this country for months and globally for months. And I don't see, while the emergency level may have gone down on, in some ways, it's escalated in others. And I do continue to see it doing that with different, um, you know, different activities and subjects. So really, 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 truly finding your safe people and those trusted individuals where you can have deep conversations, um, and become clear and heal your inside in order to heal the outside and the collective consciousness, so that it's more easily accessible for others, is really vital right now. And I totally lost my train of thought there, trying to get it back. Sorry for the pause. um, I know what it was. Our our future children, depending on your age range, okay, all of my children are young adults now. Our future children, our grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, they're going to come to you and they're going to ask you what it was like to live in this time. It's going to be their history projects at school. We are right there. We have a front row seat to major upheaval and history happening in each and every moment, but especially now. And so, something that you can do is really record, this is what's happening, this is what so and so's saying happening, and this is what's happening underneath, and this is what it's like for us trying to have an everyday life right now. Because we all know that history books and textbooks in school don't always give you the whole picture or all the true facts. So really becoming clear and think about, what is it that you're going to share when those future generations come to you and say, can I interview you for my school project? Would you like to come and speak to my class? Because we're really learning about 2020 and the global pandemic, and 2020 and the riots that took place across the country. And so really, what is your voice? Because it matters. Your voice matters now more than ever. Truly. Just want to check the comments here. Yeah, and so on that note, I know throughout this whole time, in my community and other groups that I am familiar with, there has been so much sacred rituals happening, sacred pipe ceremonies, sacred prayer circles, meditation circles happening in order to really influx and try to make the healing that we are all needing, seeking, and searching more accessible and available, so that we, as conscious creators of our own life, can tap into that and just help create those ripples more and more and more, and make them bigger and bigger and bigger, for other people to join in and just create. We want tidal waves of healing on the planet right now, and we want resolution, and we want balance brought back, and we want to find our new state of normal. And the current climate is not an okay state of normal. right? So, yeah, that is exactly what I have to say on that. Find your safe people, find your safe communities, and let your voice be heard. Truly, truly. Is there? So there is. Just want to say that we've been joined by a couple of other people here, and so your comments are delayed for me. So if you have, um, you know, any questions around personal or spiritual development or transformational work, go ahead and type those into the comments. And also in the description of the video, I just want you to know that the join by phone, if you would like some particular guidance and support for yourself personally, we have about 10 minutes left of the show. And that space is available to you. What else? What else do I want to say? I did, in another way, I did mention writing and journaling, but we have the solstice coming up, the summer solstice coming up this weekend. And that is always a special time of year for me because it's very near my birthday. And so yesterday I posted a new blog on my site, which gives you a process that you can go through as a ritual for the summer solstice. And it's something, because it's so close to my birthday, you can also use it for your birthday. And it gives you that space to reflect on the previous 6 months, as far as your personal journey and the garden you're planting for yourself and growing for yourself. And also invites you to tap into your intentions for the next 6 months, right? And also affords you the opportunity to really, in a sacred way, and holding yourself sacred, to release what is not serving you. So if feeling like your voice is stifled is not serving you, and I promise if you feel that way, it isn't serving you, even if you think that you are serving yourself and staying quiet, you're not. And that really helps you move that energy. And so when you feel like your voice is stifled, your throat chakra is out of balance. And your throat chakra is directly related to your third chakra, your solar plexus, which is absolutely related to your will, and also your interpretation of the world. So if you think of your energy system as a bullseye, the target with the rings, how each ring is individual, your heart space is its own entity. That is the center. It is your center. And then the closest ring around that is your throat chakra and your solar plexus, right? And then the next ring around that is your third eye and your sacral chakra. And the next ring around that is your crown and your root chakra. And then the ring around that is what's known as zero chakra and the eighth chakra, which is, all encompassing of your personal energy field. So, oh my gosh, yeah, Jess, it's totally tied to personal power. Absolutely. And your voice is a massive power source, right? This is your communication. And the solar plexus are developed during your adolescence stage. So like the foundational development of your solar plexus is during your adolescence. So that's when you are making your own decisions, and coming to your own conclusions about things, right? Like that's where story problems are big for math, right? Like how are you interpreting? Where you really start having a strong opinion. There's a reason why teenagers are so much fun and think they know everything. It's because they're exercising their solar plexus and they just don't realize it. Um, and so the your personal power and your communication center, you want to be in good communication, even if it starts with being in clear communication with yourself, because that helps strengthen, like they play on each other, right? Your solar plexus and your throat chakra. So the silent child syndrome really isn't healthy for anyone, you know, at any given time. And you learn to be silent when you start to feel unsafe when you're not silent. And so you see the unhealthy pattern and the habit that shows up there. Um, so you know, there's really a lot to it. And so your communication center, it's really vital for you to become clear and be able to communicate with you, with yourself, within. So any kind of reflection, walking in nature, sitting by the water, just sitting outside on your deck, doing some gardening, journaling, and maybe you want to get a voice recording and you want to do a report on your daily, right? Because again, future generations are going to come to us and they're going to ask us. I was a teacher, I taught history and English, so I know these things. It's always encouraged to get firsthand witnesses to support your theory when you are writing papers or when you're doing a presentation, or what have you, whether you're in elementary school or middle school or junior high or high school or college. Those firsthand accounts are always key. So really getting your feelings out there, and really what it is like for you brings that moment and that history to life for others, whether it's 20, 50, 100 years, 200 years from now. That record will be there somewhere. And generations now have access to the great wide world of the internet. So, of course, there's going to be so much more accessible to them. So, you know, that is one way of becoming super clear with yourself. And then entering into meditation so that you have that clear connection with your higher self and with divine source, whatever that is for you, really helps that become clearer and clearer and clearer. And when you are clear within yourself, it just helps to, you know, talk it out, you know, have those healthy conversations, those supported conversations with people who do not engage with the drama or keep you in the drama of the situation. It's a very different energy and it's very, very powerful. So thank you, Jess, for bringing that up. Today. And so, yeah, as far as energy, anything nature related really helps you with your energy and your connection. Another fantabulous way of engaging and opening up all of your energy centers is finding something that is creative and taking it from the beginning to the end, because the flow of creative energy comes in through the crown, comes in through divine source. You visualize it, you communicate it with yourself, you feel it. Solar plexus, you interpret your own special spin on it. Your sacral chakra is where you support it, and your root chakra is where you birth it into being, right? So where it's like a full out picturing. And do not confine creativity to only art, because creativity, if you try to define it by the arts, painting, drawing, writing, you are putting it in a box, and it most definitely does not fit inside a box. I promise you, there is no box big enough to fit creativity in all the ways that it can show up inside a box. So gardening, baking, coloring, painting, sketching. The way that I personally do oracle card readings. Hi, Judith. Thank you for joining us today. The way that I personally do oracle card readings, and I know I'm not the only one, is a creative way of how I do readings. And, I pull from multiple decks when I do readings. That is my creative spin on it. Decorating, rearranging a room, cleaning a room. You can get, those are out picturings of creativity. The way you put an outfit together, you can get creative with that and think outside the box. So being creative is a huge guitar playing. Yes, music. I love it. And we were talking today, Judith, about exercising your voice. And so, of course, singing, chanting, humming, all of that good stuff is an incredible way of exercising your throat chakra, as are breath work. So I really, really want to thank you all for joining me today. This was a very powerful topic. Even without a live caller phoning in, I really hope that you get what you need from this. And if anything comes up, I am a safe person, so feel free to reach out through private message. So as I mentioned before, I host a free private Facebook group, Feminine Wisdom Keepers, which is a community for the awakened woman. Beginning Monday next week, June 22nd, I am facilitating a free 5-day event every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, titled 5 Days to Ignite Your Intuition and Transform Your Life. And I'd love for you to join me. Last time I offered this event, the week was packed full of breakthroughs and transformations. I absolutely love what I do and hope you choose to join me. I'll drop a link to the registration page in the comments, which is actually already there. And so tomorrow on season 4, episode 12 of The Breakthrough Show, your host Jessica Dugas sits down to talk spirituality with author, musician, podcaster, and prophet, truth seeker. Plus, you'll be treated to music from Greg Lennon, all the way from France. Also, don't forget that you can get so much more from The Breakthrough Show by supporting us on Patreon, where you'll gain access to our exclusive community, that other safe space I mentioned, powered by Patreon, after the breakthrough. So that is a wrap for today's show. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Crystal Cockerham, and I look forward to seeing you next month for another Breakthrough Extra Ask Crystal, guidance that empowers you to align with your inner wisdom and continue on your spiritual path. Stay safe and don't be afraid to shine your light. Have a good one, everyone.